Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dale Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Pierre Desir, Brent Berry, Ed Werder,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafelt, and I'm now joined by 2015 NFL Draft prospect, cornerback out of Illinois State University, Michael Banks. Thanks for taking some time to chat, Mike. How's it going?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Let's go ahead and get right to it, Mike. Coming out of Mount Carmel High School here in Chicago, you had a lot of success at both running back and wide receiver. You received an all-state honorable mention by the Chicago Tribune, as well as all-conference and all-area selections, and you decided to attend Illinois State University. I'll go ahead and start off by asking you a pretty simple question, and that is, why did you decide to attend ISU and play for the Redbirds?
Well, I like the direction that the program was going here with Coach Beck and everything. He had a vision, and we were able to put that vision into action, and it was just a family atmosphere that they had here at Illinois State, which really drew my attention. It reminded me so much of high school.
And did you have any idea that you would be playing cornerback before you committed to Illinois State? I mean, like I said, you played running back and wide receiver. How'd they decide what position you were going to be playing?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know I was going to play corner either. I was recruited as an athlete, so I came in thinking I was going to play offense because, that's the last position I played in high school. But when I got here my freshman year, they told me I was going to play corner, and just ran with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mike, you were able to play right away as a true freshman in 2011. You started all 11 games, and you led the team in solo tackles with 44. You also recorded 3 pass breakups, an interception, and a fumble recovery. You were named to the Missouri Valley Football Conference all-newcomer team. Did you have any idea that you would be seeing the field as much as you did as a true freshman and have the impact that you ended up having that first year of yours with the Redbirds?
No, I didn't think I was going to get on the field early right away at all. I was going, in my mind, I was going to use that first year to, get my feet wet and learn the system and everything. But they needed me to go in, and we had a good summer camp and a good fall camp and everything, and I was just able to get prepared to be ready to play.
It absolutely showed that you're ready to play. You made an impact very early on in your Redbird career. And as a sophomore, you held on to that starting job. Once again, you started every game that season. You put up 55 tackles, 2 interceptions, and you led the team with 10 pass breakups. You guys actually went 9-4 that season and defeated Appalachian State in overtime in the FCS playoffs, but came up short against Eastern Washington. And then in 2013, as a junior, you had about 40 tackles, 11 pass deflections, and 2 interceptions. But as a team, you guys kind of struggled, finishing just under 500 at 5-6. With all that being said, what were your expectations for this past season, the 2014 season, knowing that it'll be your final go-around at the college level?
Oh yeah, this was my senior season, and I couldn't accept failure from the guys. So we worked really hard in the winter conditioning. We worked hard in summer conditioning and fall camp because your senior season you want to make it a memorable one. You don't want to go out under 500 like we did the year before. So that was the whole thing, the motto for the all season was just work hard, and we didn't want that same taste in the mouth that we had the previous season.
Michael Banks out of Illinois State joining the CS Podcast, and it was definitely a memorable season, Mike. It was a heck of a year out of you individually and the Redbirds as a team. You were able to record a career-high 93 tackles, along with 19 pass deflections, 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 3 fumble recoveries, and 2 interceptions. A hell of a stat line right there. As a team, the Redbirds finished the regular season 10-1. The only loss coming from Northern Iowa. You guys were actually able to get some payback and knock them off in the FCS playoffs, as well as Eastern Washington and New Hampshire. What was your guys' mindset heading into the FCS National Championship game a couple weekends ago to take on the team that had won the past 3 years, the North Dakota State Bison? Because it seemed like that, heading into every game in the playoffs, you guys were underdogs, but somehow, some way, you guys were able to prove everybody wrong and make an appearance in the National Championship game. So again, what was your guys' mindset heading into what would be your final college football game?
You hit it right on the head. Every game we was going in a big underdog, which was okay with us because we can't control what the rankings say, who we play, where we play. All we can control is us, and that's what that was our mindset going into the game. We're going to go in there, we're going to try to play our game and just execute the best of our ability because we can't control who we play, we can't control what the temperature is going to be, the climate or anything. We can just control our play. And that was pretty much our whole mindset, to get better at what we do.
Well, I got to say, it was probably the game of the year. Unfortunately, NDSU was able to score a touchdown in the final seconds of the game, and they ended up winning their fourth straight national championship against you guys with a final score of 29-27. Although you guys didn't win it, you guys put up a hell of a fight that NDSU hasn't seen in a championship game in quite a while. It was actually the first time Illinois State has ever been to the FCS national championship game. Mike, can you just tell us what it was like to play in the biggest game of the season that every team works towards, and what was going through your mind when you seen that the game was over and that you guys were on the wrong end of the scoreboard?
Yeah, a lot of things up to your mind right there. You think about the little things that you could have done to change the outcome. Like when you're in that moment, there's nothing that anyone could tell you that can change your mind. Like, oh, you had a great season, blah blah blah. You don't want to hear any of that, But after you sit down for a couple days later and you reflect on the season and the things that you went through to get to that point, you can't forget that we had a great season this year. Even though we didn't come out on the winning championship game, you can't take away all the great things that this team has done this year. With a great group of guys, we accomplished a lot for this school.
Oh, absolutely. A ton of talent on that team, and it definitely showed on the field. Once again, Chris Shanafelt talking to 2015 NFL draft prospect, cornerback out of Illinois State University, Mike Banks. And Mike, from being able to play right away as a true freshman to making your first playoff appearance as a sophomore and then finishing under 500 as a junior and then being able to go 13-2, make an appearance in the FCS National Championship game and put up career-high numbers as a senior, how would you describe your overall football experience at Illinois State?
I would like to say I had a pretty good career here at Illinois State. The first year is a little rocky because you're trying to get your feet wet. You don't really know what to expect coming from high school and playing right away as a true freshman. Getting thrown in that starting role. But as the years go on and you get older and older, you get more comfortable with the system. And I was fortunate enough to have the same coaches for my whole career, so I only have to learn one system, and that helps a lot because once you know the system in and out, you can play fast, and that's what you saw as my career got longer and longer. I was just playing faster. I didn't have to think about anything, and I could just go out and focus on trying to make plays for the Redbirds.
Right on. Now, obviously, there's more and more talent coming out of the FCS level. You got to love that. Throughout these last 4 years, who would you say is the best or most impressive player you've had to play against? Is there anybody specific out there that you could name?
Jimmy Garoppolo from Eastern.
And why is that? I mean, obviously, he had a great career at Eastern Illinois, went up to be a second-round draft pick, and he'll actually be playing in the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks. Why do you say Jimmy Garoppolo? What separates him?
He had the arm strength, the athleticism. He could just put the ball on where most quarterbacks couldn't put the ball at this level. That shows he's a second-round draft pick. And he was just a great player.
All right. Now, if you had to single out one, I know there's been a lot of them, Mike. What's the biggest or most memorable play that you've made as a Redbird?
Probably the fourth down stop versus New Hampshire in the semifinal game. We was in a zero blitz, and they tried to run a jailbreak screen with the wide receiver. I was able to backdoor it and made the tackle for fourth down and got us the ball back, and we ended up milking the clock out after that. So that was a big play.
Hey, there you go. Once again, cornerback out of Illinois State, Mike Banks, joining the show. And Mike, there are a few former Illinois State Redbirds that are currently in the NFL. Last year around this time, I actually spoke to Colton Underwood, who's now with the San Diego Chargers. Is there any chance that you've been able to talk to anybody, whether they're former Redbirds or not, that has had any type of experience at the next level? And have they given you any advice as to what to expect during this draft process?
Yeah, I talked to a couple of guys. They just, whatever it is, you can't control the outcomes, so whatever it is, you just enjoy it, take it for what it is, learn from it, and just enjoy the process because it's one of the greatest experiences of your life.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I believe former Illinois State Redbird wide receiver, he had a few years in the NFL, maybe 6 or 7 years, LaRon Robinson. I believe he was out there supporting you guys throughout the playoffs. Is that right?
Yeah, LaRon, he actually, after we won our conference, we was co-winners at the NBC. Actually, after the game, he came in the locker room and talked to us and everything. And he was actually on the sideline for a little bit of the championship game in Frisco. So,
hey,
he was supporting the Redbirds. He's a a lot of the guys from his team were out supporting us and everything. So this made us feel a lot better, having the support of former Redbirds and.
Absolutely, man. I think that's very, very exciting. Now, Mike, what do you feel is your biggest strength as a cornerback?
My biggest strength as a cornerback, I would have to say, maybe is my instincts. I'm not the tallest corner, but I just got a knack for knowing the situations, and I feel like I play situations very well. Whether that's based off down and distance or time on the clock or just things like that.
And what about weakness? Is there anything specific that you'll be taking some time to improve on during the off season?
Definitely. As a corner, you can never have. You can always work on your feet, So that's the moneymaker at cornerback, So it's like keep improving on your footwork and definitely speed. If you can keep working on those two things, at cornerback, you should be pretty good.
All right. Now you mentioned that you're not the tallest guy. What do you say to the doubters that automatically discount you from playing at the next level just because they see that you're 5'7", 5'8", 185 pounds? What do you say to those guys?
The same thing I told to the college coaches that didn't want to recruit me. That's their opinion, but what you can't count out is the film that you see. And some guys have the prototypical size, but everybody's not a football player. I'm just a football player.
Hey, man, it definitely shows there on the field. You take a look at your highlight film, and, they say size doesn't matter, man. It's the size of the heart, and you definitely have the heart, the love of the game. It definitely shows. Once again, Chris Shanafelt talking to 2015 NFL Draft Prospect, cornerback out of Illinois State, Michael Banks, here on the CS Podcast. And, Mike, just a few more questions, then I'll let you go. I really do appreciate your time. Let's say there's an NFL general manager listening to this very interview. Why should he want cornerback out of Illinois State, Michael Banks, a part of his team?
He want me because I'm a hard worker. I'm dedicated to my craft. I love the game of football. I'll do anything and everything I can do to win.
Hey, man, it's that simple. Sounds good. You just need one team to fall in love with you, man. One team to give you that opportunity. Now, if you would compare yourself to a cornerback currently playing in the NFL, who would that be and why?
I would probably compare myself more to a Tim Jennings from the Bears. He's a smaller guy as well, quick, and he just has a knack for the ball. And he's a good tackle. He stick his nose in there in the run game and a run support, and he's a pretty good cover corner as well. So I think I favor him the most out of any corner in the league right now.
Hey, a Pro Bowl cornerback with the nickname the Hawk. He's definitely a ball hog, so you cannot go wrong with that. Now, I got to think scouts have been in and out of ISU to see you and some of your teammates. Any chance that you've been able to speak with any of them or have any idea what they might be saying about you?
No, I haven't really been able to talk to any of them and see what they're saying, because we had a long season, we just focused on trying to complete the goal we had here at Illinois State,
Hey, sounds good. Now, last but not least, here's a fun one to end the interview. What's something about yourself that many people may not know?
Something about me that most people may not know. My father's an NFL official.
Is he? Okay. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I definitely did not know that. Now, when you make it to the next level, because I'm confident you will, man, you definitely done a lot throughout your time at Illinois State. Now, when you make it to the next level, are you going to make sure he's going to be officiating all your games, or are you going to throw him $1 or $2, be like, yo, don't call this, don't call that?
I really against that.
There you go. Well, hey, Mike, man, I got to say it's really been a pleasure speaking with you. Once again, congratulations on a very successful college football career, a great season at Illinois State. Do you have anything else for us before I let you go?
Oh, no, I just appreciate the time. Appreciate you having me on.
Hey, the pleasure was all mine, man. Fun talking to you. Hopefully we keep in touch, and take care, all right?
All right, for sure. Thank you.